So yeah, BFB 16. A new episode filled with twists and... whatever this is. And some people seem to be next level mad about this episode. I mean, looking at jacknjellify's Twitter, people are just really letting their hatred for these new changes to the show out. And yeah, I sorta see where they're coming from. I mean, it sorta feels like the creators just abandoned all the previous relationships and storylines and went in a completely different direction. And it was certainly out of the blue. But you know what? As sudden as these changes are, they might not necessarily be a bad thing. Let's use Taco and Book deciding to go to different shows as an example. The relationship was very rocky during the previous episodes, which drew viewers in, and now that they're being split up, some people are outraged about that. But I think I know something that we can compare this to. Back in 2013, the NHL was realigning their conferences. This entailed moving the Detroit Red Wings from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference. Many people were upset by this because it meant that they were no longer with their rivals, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Colorado Avalanche. But today, we know that this move ended up being a great thing because it meant that they could make new rivalries with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, and Montreal Canadiens. Another thing that's been complained about with this episode is the debut. Specifically, the fact that everyone is voting for winner, myself included. Now, this isn't necessarily the creators' fault. I mean, they can't control how people vote. But if I'm being honest, everyone should have seen this coming. Of course Winner was gonna win. He's the opposite of loser. People have theorized that he might join ever since BFB started. And who knows, he might end up becoming the next best character. And now I want to talk about the split itself. People are outraged at the fact that BFB is splitting into two shows. And honestly, I'm not sure why. Sure, it was sudden, but it's not necessarily a bad move. I see this as a great new change to spice things up a bit. I mean, it's not like any of the characters are going anywhere. We'll still get to see them. If anything, this split brings the potential for many great story arcs. I mean, yeah, you could point the finger at 2 and call him a jerk for ruining 4's pride, but really, his addition could be something that's great for the show. Maybe there could be a showdown between him and 4. I mean, who knows what could happen in Teapot? I mean, you could compare it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are many different story arcs going on at once, but it all takes place in the same universe. I mean, if anything, a split makes sense because there are so many characters in the BFDI world now, and they all have to fight for screen time. Now, with there being 2 shows, BFB and Teapot, it allows there to be more time focused on each individual character, albeit not that much, but definitely more. Now, I've been defending the creators and their decisions so far, but there is one big thing that I do disagree with, and that's having Spongy and Loser rejoin BFB. I mean, they were both eliminated fair and square, especially Spongy. He was just eliminated with the biggest number of votes in Object Show history. It's like a giant middle finger to the voters for voting. Hey, you voted Spongy and Loser out? Well, guess what? They're back in the game now, even though there was no rejoin announced or anything. And yeah, I know Spongy rejoined in Season 1 as well, but there at least they did a contest, so it sorta makes sense as to why he rejoined. But anyway, that's where my complaints about this end. People really need to stop acting like this is the end of the world, because it's not. This has a lot of potential, and people should really be giving this a chance. I'm sure the creators will do their very best to give us something that we'll love. Michael and Carrie have been entertaining us for 10 years, and I don't think they're gonna stop now.